Nicola Garraway, welcome to Back to Byker.
Hello, lovely to
Hello.
see you after all these years.
I know, yeah, the last time I saw you was on the boat for the 25th anniversary.
Oh, I can't even remember how long ago that was.
I know,
It's like it feels like forever, doesn't it?
I know. Debbie crammed in a lot of storylines while she was there.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. She had some pretty big ones going on, didn't she? There was the
Yeah,
kind of the love triangle. I'll always be known as the girl that blinded PJ.
yeah.
So I think
I
that
can
was
think, I can think of two big love triangles as well, but we'll talk about those later on. But first, going back, you started in series two. Do you remember the audition process?
Yes, so I used to go to a drama school on a Saturday, which was probably really lucky on my behalf because they didn't actually audition around the schools in my local area. I think a lot of the school auditions was kind of in the Newcastle area.
Mhm.
So I got the audition through going to a drama school. Um, and all I knew it was kind of, it was the audition for Nicola Dobson's younger sister, Debbie,
Mhm.
who was obviously Jill Halfpenny. Um, so I went along, obviously nervous, excited. Um, but it was strange because I only had the one audition. And when I left that room, there's some things that you just know in life, and I knew I had the part. It was kind of like manifestation at its finest way back then, before I even knew what that was. But yeah, I got told pretty quick that I had the part of Debbie, and I remember at the time, I wanted these trainers, and my mum was like, "No, you can't have them. You can't have them. Far too expensive. Blah blah blah." And she says, "If you get this part, I'll buy you them." And then I remember coming off the phone and said, "I've got the part." She went, "Oh God, I'm gonna have to get you them trainers now." Um, so it was, but yeah, no, it was great because as well, I know that they were only wanting the one sister, but then I think they auditioned Nicola Hewitt and they decided to incorporate a third sister, which obviously she played Gemma Dobson,
Yeah.
which was great for the show because obviously it showed a lot of sibling rivalry, all the kind of dramas that goes on in family households. So
Yeah,
it
and I
was all
suppose
good.
you were the first big family on Byker, really, weren't you?
Yeah, yeah, we were. And it was just a real normal, northern family, the general ups and downs, the arguments that families have, and lots of sister squabbles, which was great.
Yeah. Do you remember your first day on set?
Um, yes, it was a park scene with Lindy Ann, who obviously played the part of Spuggy.
Hmm.
Um, I actually, I think I remember the outfit more than anything.
Oh, really?
Debbie dressed quite young for her age, so she had this like big green puffer on, with this like a hair slapped back in a ponytail with this big red chiffon bow. And
Nice.
I just used to dread going into makeup every time Marie used to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, we've got a different colour bow for you today." So I think I was more traumatized by the outfit I had to wear. But yeah, the scene was a lovely little park scene with Lindy Ann, and obviously I think Spooky was one of Debbie's first friends.
Nice. Were you nervous about joining the show?
So long ago. Yeah, I presume I would have been.
Yeah.
But I think it was because we were so young. You
Mm.
don't think about things, you don't
Mm.
analyze things like you do when you get older.
Mm.
So we kind of just went with the flow.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I can't remember being like particularly really scared about it or anything, but
Yeah.
I'm sure I would have been back then.
You sort of just get into it, really, don't you? And just pick up a rhythm, really, when you start.
You do, and I think that was the good thing about us starting so young that we didn't really think about it.
Mm.
There wasn't social media back then,
No.
and you just kind of went along with it. So it was a really good thing, to be honest.
Do you think that's a good thing that there was no social media back then?
Yeah,
Yeah. Would have
absolutely.
been rough, wouldn't it?
It's yeah, yeah. I mean, we had the best times, and we weren't kind of put out there to be commented on. We
Hmm.
weren't put out there to kind of be put down and just to be made to feel really, like analyze who you are as a person, what you look like, and
Mm.
the kids have got it really hard today.
Mm. And they're not
And
on
I really,
TV.
sorry.
And they're not on TV.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel really sorry for them, like all of, my oldest daughters, all of them, they're all on it now. And I just think, it's in some respects it's not the best way to live these
Mm.
days.
Do you remember the first episode airing and did you watch yourself?
I will have done, but I remember we kind of had like a preview.
Mhm.
So we all like met up at this big night to have this preview where we watched the episodes go out before they were obviously aired. Um, so I remember going there and remember being dead giddy and nervous about it. So I
Yeah.
think all the nerves was kind of then before we'd actually seen it. So by the time it got to come out on air, I knew what to expect.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, it was all fun.
Yeah. And obviously we all went through it being recognizable like overnight. How did you cope with that?
Again, I think it was just a case of, getting on with things. I suppose going into school, I think we all must have done this as well. Like if we had something big, or if we played like football with Grange Hill, or if we went to London and met some like famous people, or it was on Saturday shows, whatever we done, I think we used to have our work life and
Mm.
then we would have our kind of school life where we wouldn't, we would play everything down or the big things we wouldn't really speak about because we didn't kind of want people that judgment from our friends.
Yeah.
Whereas we would go on set and discuss everything with each other
Mm.
because we were all in it together.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like that was our safety anchor, I suppose.
Mm.
Um,
I don't know about you, but I definitely preferred being a biker than going to school.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I feel like I was at Byker more than what I was at school anyway.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and obviously we had the lovely Jeanette who used to do
Mhm.
our tuition. Obviously she was just there to supervise us because we were all at different levels, studying different things, different age groups. But she was absolutely fantastic. Um, and yeah, I feel like I was on the set more than I was at school. But in terms of kind of friendship groups and stuff like that back in school, everyone was fine. I don't think for 1 minute any of us escaped, the odd comment that we didn't approve of or a judgment being made about us.
Mm.
I think we all must have gotten that at some point.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Debbie had some really big storylines, two love triangles. I mean, the one that springs to mind for me is Debbie, PJ, and Duncan, but there was one before that, Debbie, PJ, and Amanda.
Yes,
So PJ was with Debbie, but he had a fling with Amanda. Is that right?
he did. He
Yeah.
did. And I mean, Debbie absolutely adored him. I
Yeah.
mean, she really, really did. She was completely head over heels in love.
Mhm.
So, the whole betrayal um, cut her up big style. And obviously, that's where she plotted revenge.
Mm.
Although I don't think she intended on blinding the poor
No.
boy. So no, I think that was obviously leading up to the bigger
Yeah.
storylines.
I don't know if I'm right in thinking this, but I mean, I remember watching that love triangle when I was a kid, and it was like I was watching a soap. Like it was really well done, and it was quite exciting, wasn't it? Is that when like a lot of the viewers started coming in?
I'm not sure because I think we just had such an amazing variety of storylines
Yeah,
anyway
yeah,
that, whether somebody wanted to kind of home in on, obviously, I know that you just interviewed Brett Adams on the whole
hmm
Noddy.
yeah,
Was that a bit later? But there was just always brilliant storylines that, obviously related to somebody out there.
mm,
But I always, I think it was just popular with the overall show anyway. No matter what they put out, they always kind of hit home pretty well.
mm. And Debbie did accidentally blind PJ. What was the paintball episode like to film? Because it looked like there was like this tension building, like you knew something was going to happen in this episode, and then it was that, and it was huge. Did you know that it was going to be big?
Yeah, I mean, I think we kind of, because obviously we knew the outcome of it.
Mm,
It was just chaos, wasn't it?
mm,
So I think we knew that, when we found out, obviously when I found out that was going to be me that shot him and me that blinded him, thanks for that. I was like the most hated girl on TV, I think. But I think, yeah, we knew it was going to be big. Obviously, not to the point where even now that kind of line will always, go on. So not quite as big as what it was.
I remember watching it over and over when I was a kid. It was like it was such a great episode. Did you get any stick in the street for it for Blind and BJ?
I didn't.
No?
I didn't know. And I think a lot of people wasn't quite sure at the time because we were literally only seeing our eyes.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people knew whether it was me or Amanda that actually did the firing shot. So I think there was a bit of confusion. So that might have been a good thing on my behalf.
Right.
That people didn't actually know it was me. Um, but yeah, no, everyone was kind.
That's
Let's
good.
say.
But then, of course, after he got blinded, Debbie went and had a fling with his best mate, Duncan.
I know.
She's
How
not selling herself in a very good light.
How dare she? Yes, I mean, don't get us wrong, them scenes was quite fun to do. But yes, she did. She played a real character, did our Debbie.
Yeah. Do you think Debbie would think that PJ or Duncan was the better kisser?
Oh, you
You
got
don't
me
have
there.
to
I
answer
probably I can answer that one, lady, can
that. Not many people can know the answer to that.
I think
Let's
I
talk
best
about
remain closed with that one.
let's talk about life after Biker. When you left, did you want to continue acting?
Yes, it's something that I love doing it, so there's no reason why I would never want to kind of pursue that path. I think at in hindsight, a lot of people left to go to London to get an agent and so on and so on. And my life was still very much in the north.
Mm.
And I think, as you know now, there wasn't a great deal happening here. I did a few bits, a bit of Cavanagh QC. I had small bits on that Vera and Crocodile Shoes, did like radio commercials. So,
Oh, you did
so
well.
a few little things that followed that I could actually do in the northeast.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, not a great deal. But yeah, it's something that I would have always continued to do.
Mhm. And what's life like now?
It's good. It's busy.
Yeah.
I've got 4 children, so you can imagine.
Yeah.
Always busy, always seeing one, dividing myself into four.
Yeah.
I work part-time in the makeup skincare industry, which I love. It's still kind of creating. And yeah, just busy with the kids, family life.
Yeah.
All good, though, all good.
Lovely. So if you think about Biker and you look back on your time there, what does it make you think of? How do you remember it?
Um, I remember it just with the fondest memories. I've, that camaraderie we had.
Mhm.
It was such a kind of family, tight-knit bond that we all had that, I don't think you get that in work and life a great deal. And I just remember kind of growing up on set and loving it really. Getting into trouble for being naughty, getting into trouble for laughing, corpsing, that was my big thing. But there's nothing negative. It's just with the most lovely memories.
Oh, that's great. Thank you very much, Nicola. This has been lovely.
No, thank you.
We just went back to Biker.